a world mystery right here where we're from. It's new beginnings to you and me, 'cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done.
Hands raised high in pure delight, thankful whispers in a gentle breeze, grateful heart with such sweet ease. Thank you, Lord, for every breath I take, for the love that heals and the joy you make in the tapestry of life. I see your grace, every moment filled with your warm embrace. Through valleys deep and mountains.
Hi friend, and welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. My name is Sheridan Voisey, and I've titled today's reading, Children of God. I once spoke at a secular conference for childless couples. Heartbroken over their infertility, many attendees despaired at their future. Having walked the childless path too, I tried to encourage them. You can have a meaningful identity without becoming parents, I said. I believe you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and there's new purpose for you to find. A woman later approached me in tears. Thank you, she said. I felt worthless for being childless and needed to hear that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I asked the woman if she was a believer in Jesus. I walked away from God years ago, she said, but I need a relationship with him again. Times like this remind me how profound the gospel is. Some identities, like mother and father, are hard for some to attain. Others, like those based on a career, can be lost through unemployment. But through Jesus, we become God's dearly loved children, an identity that can never be stolen. And then we can walk in the way of love, a life purpose that transcends any role or employment status. Psalm 139 tells us that all human beings are fearfully and wonderfully made. And John chapter 1 says, those who follow Jesus become children of God. Once in despair, that woman left in hope, about to find an identity and purpose bigger than this world can give. Today's scripture reading is from Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32 through to chapter 5 verse 10. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Follow God's example, therefore, as dearly loved children, and walk in the way of love, just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. But among you, there must not be even a hint of sexual immorality, or any kind of impurity, or of greed, because these are improper for God's holy people. Nor should there be obscenity, foolish talk, or coarse joking, which are out of place, but rather thanksgiving. For of this you can be sure: no immoral, impure, or greedy person, such a person is an idolater, has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of such things God's wrath comes on those who are disobedient. Therefore, do not be partners with them. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light, for the fruit of the light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth, and find out what pleases the Lord. Let's pray together. Lord, thank you for making me your child. Today, I embrace this as my prime identity. Before I am a teacher or an artist or an engineer or any other occupational identity, before I'm a mother or a father or a husband, a wife, or even a friend, I am your dearly loved child. Empower me by your Spirit to walk in the way of love today. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Okay. Okay, we're done with that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a presentation for you. I normally do it on the first day of the week and the end of the week, but today I did it. Oh, for the folks out there who asked me yesterday about Todd Strange, Todd Strange will, if we all live and nothing happens, it will be here next Wednesday. He'll be on the show next Wednesday to tell you why he supports the, I think her name is Catherine, for the Attorney General. But evidently, though, she's running things down there pretty much right now. But anyway, see, if y'all tell me who you want, if they'll answer the phone, I'll invite them. And so Todd's going to be here next Wednesday if we all live and nothing happens. And so he'll be here. Was that you, Dr. Joe, that asked me to get him? I called him yesterday. Mm-hmm. Good morning, Chosen and Scarlett Elkins, my grandkids. They don't listen to this stuff anyway. But let it never be said that I did not extend to. One of the things we want to talk about this morning is the modification. I think it's time to modify the Second Amendment. That's just me. And I think I think there needs to be a select group of individuals in the country who get to carry a gun. Okay. I believe now, and some of those, of course, have nothing to do with law enforcement or anything like that. But I tell you about all that when we get back. I think it's time. I think it's time this is crazy. Okay, it's crazy. There are people who are getting shot with guns and shooting people with guns. This is crazy. Our founding fathers, I even hate to call them that sometimes, but the founders of this nation never thought that we'd be shooting each other down in the streets like dogs. Never did. I guarantee you that was not on their mind. Hey, let's have a Second Amendment so Elkins can get out there in 2026 and he can shoot somebody because he tired of breathing or something like that. But we'll talk a little bit about that when we come back. But right now, the power of words. It is what our message in this morning. So you hang loose. I think you'll get something out of this. I think you will. I hope you do. Like the power of words, modify the Second Amendment. Okay? The power of words. That is what our message for the day is. And we shall be back uno momento.
Just about everybody that you encounter is often going through something that may not be obvious from the outside, but they're facing a battle on the inside. Everyone that you come across is facing some type of battle in their life. I hope that you'll embrace that you have no idea what God might do through a single word of encouragement. You have no idea how God could use you to offer someone hope, to build someone's faith. And I don't know about you, but there is so much negativity in the world today. I can't open up my social media feed without being discouraged. I can't read a news app without just being depressed. I can't talk to people with all the heartbreaking news in the world without being disheartened. And so many people in a polarized world can be so incredibly critical, so undeniably hateful. I think it's time that we as believers step in and lift others, bring words of hope, bring words of encouragement, because the words we speak are filled with power. Our words can build up, or our words can crush. In fact, Scripture says in Proverbs 18:21 that the tongue has the power of life and of death. I want my words to build your faith, to strengthen your confidence, to believe that God is for you, that He's with you, that He'll never leave you, He'll never forsake you. He's working in you. If it were up to me, I would encourage you and build your faith, because everyone you see is facing a battle that you don't know anything about.
The Scripture tells us that life and death is in the power of the tongue. That makes total sense. Because if you'll just stop for 1 second and look back over your life, I guarantee you that every one of us in this room have got at least one instant in our life where we know we have seen the power of the tongue produce death. Death to relationships, death to jobs. How many people you know have been fired because of their mouth? How many marriages have been destroyed because of mouths, because of the tongue? So let's use our words to benefit us. Let's use our words to make the world around us better. Let's use our words to make our relationships better. Let's use our words to bring life to our marriage, life to our kids, life to our jobs, life to our minds, life to our families. Speak words that edify, speak words that build up, speak words that embrace, speak words that forgive, speak words that love, speak words that heal.
Words are full of power. They can heal, they can wound, they can minister death, they can minister life, they can encourage, they can discourage, they can build up, they can tear down. People get divorces over words. Families are split apart over words. People lose jobs over words. People have insecurity and a poor self-image over words that have been spoken to them. Words are containers for power. And we need to choose our words very carefully. And it's time for us to step up to the plate and be accountable for the words that we allow to come out of our mouth. No man can tame the tongue. We need God's help. So you want to pray every day for God to help you with your mouth.
We are constantly speaking words, and even a few can have the power of life and death. Now, some of you know this because you grew up in homes where a few words spoken to you had power of life or had power of death. And you can remember those words, just 3 or 4 words that maybe a parent, a teacher, a sibling, a friend, a coach said to you, and it either brought some life or brought some death into your world.
One of the best things you can do for your relationships, if you're married, if you have children, if you're a leader or an influencer at work, if you have someone in your small group, is to bless them with words of encouragement. Set the blessing free. You encourage what you want to see, and you typically see more of it. If it were up to me, I would be so encouraging. If you think something good, say it. If you think something good, say it. In a world full of so much criticism, so much hatred, so much disappointment, so much negativity, as people of the light, we'll lift up others around us.
So Genesis 1, the Bible tells us the earth was formless, it was empty, or it was void. And it says that darkness was over the surface of the deep. So there was just nothing. There was nothing. And then verse 3, here's what we read. And God said. Maybe your translation says, and God spoke. So God speaks into the nothingness. He speaks into the darkness, and he says, let there be light, and there was light. And so at the very beginning of time, God creates the universe, but how does he do it? What tool does he use? He uses words. He speaks the universe into existence. God says, and it is. And we see this throughout the creation account. God said, and it happened. He speaks it. And so God uses words to bring about life and light. God uses words to build up, to create. He speaks into darkness, and he says light, and lights come on. And so we see from the beginning the power of words, that words are the tool that God uses. Flip over a couple chapters, Genesis 3. And in this passage, we see that words have the power of death. And so this is the passage of Scripture where sin enters into the world. God has created man and woman. He said that it's very good. Now Satan comes on the scene in the form of a serpent. And verse 1 tells us that the serpent was clever, more clever, in fact, than any wild animal God had made. And what did he do? He spoke. He spoke to the woman, and he said, do I understand that God told you? So he speaks, and when he speaks, he attacks what God has said. And do I understand that God told you not to eat from any tree in the garden? And then he would go on to say, hey, God didn't really say that. So what does the enemy use? The enemy uses words to bring death to where there was life, and to bring darkness to where there was light. Now here's what's interesting, of course, is that the serpent's words were not true, but that didn't keep his words from having power. Right? Like the moment Adam and Eve speak the words in their own hearts, the moment they believe those words, they give life to them. They empower them. So God speaks, the serpent speaks, and we just see from the beginning there's the power of life, there's the power of death. God speaks and he creates and he builds and he blesses. The enemy speaks and he tempts and he accuses, he deceives, he destroys. It's hardwired into the universe, the power of words. Am I speaking life or am I speaking death into the world around me?
You know, it's so amazing, the power of this tongue. In James chapter 3, he illustrates it this way. In verse 3, he says, when you put bits into the mouth of horses to make them obey, you can turn the whole animal. He goes, or take ships as an example. Though they're large and driven by strong winds, they're steered by a very small rudder wherever the pilot wants to go. Likewise, the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boasts. Consider what a great forest is set on fire by a small spark. The tongue also is a fire, a world of evil among the parts of the body. It corrupts the whole person. It sets the whole course of his life on fire and is itself set on fire by hell. My tongue right now could be set on fire by hell. What does he mean by that? That Satan himself could influence what I have to say. The words coming out of his mouth could come straight from hell itself. And anytime I use this mouth to tear someone down, guess who's in control of my tongue at that minute? Hell. Anytime I use this mouth to do anything but bring glory to God, who's using this? When I'm bringing glory to myself, who's using this? It's Satan. He's got control of it. You and I, we have the ability to have our tongue set on fire by hell to say things that will actually pull people away from God. It's a dangerous thing. That's what this passage is about. It's like, do you know how powerful you are? And in verse 9, he says, and with this tongue we praise our Lord and Father, and with it we curse men who've been made in God's likeness. And what this verse says is, can't praise God with your mouth and also curse men. And then he says, who have been made in the likeness of God. And what this passage is saying is, do I ever have a right to curse anyone that was made in the image of God? And I don't want God seeing me on this earth cursing someone that he loves. It's about love. You don't have a right to hate anyone that God created and use this mouth to curse anyone that God wants saved. I mean, really, the heart of God is Romans 5:8, of that while we were sinners, that God demonstrated his love for us and Christ died for us. Not because we were so lovable, but he looks down and goes, wow, these people are rebelling against me, but I love them, and I love them so much that I'm going to pursue them. It's not about God looking down and going, man, look at them rebel against me, I'm going to curse them. No, instead I'm going to send my son down and show love to them and save them. And in the same way, as a reflection of Jesus Christ, I'm supposed to look at those who are antagonistic toward God and love them and pursue them and save them and pray for them, but not curse them. He uses this idea of, he says, out of the same mouth, verse 10, out of the same mouth come praise and cursing. My brothers, this should not be. He goes, you can't use this mouth to praise and curse. Understand, when we became a believer, we said, God, here's my tongue. And then every once in a while, I go, wait, God, let me get my tongue back for a second. Let me use it. I'm going to let Satan borrow it for a little bit. Here, Satan, go ahead. Okay, use my tongue now. Let me gossip. Let me say some things that aren't true. Let me slander some people. Let me put some people down. Let me, do this, do that with this tongue. And then we come back, okay, God, I'm done with it. You can have it back. You just gave that to Satan to borrow for a little bit, and then you give it back to me and you take it back. He goes, you can't let us both use this tongue. Man, whose is it? Out of the same mouth, you can't have blessing and cursing. Why do blessing and cursing come out of your mouth? because there's blessing and cursing in your heart. You need a new heart. You need God to change who you are. This message is not about biting your tongue and offering lip service. I need you to change my heart. I don't want anything to come out of this mouth that doesn't honor you. This tongue was created by God. God made it. Colossians 1:16 says all things were created by Him and for Him. Why did God make this tongue? To praise Him.
I really believe that we open doors for the enemy through complaining. God gave us our mouth for one reason, and that's to glorify Him. You have a mouth to glorify God. Amen? And that's what we need to use it for. I think so often we talk more about what the enemy's doing than we do about what God's doing. We don't need to talk fear. We need to talk faith. Why? Because our words are powerful. Our words are containers for power. Your words can carry your faith to the kingdom of God and release angels to help you, or your words can carry your fear to the kingdom of darkness and just release more trouble in your life.
And what would happen if certain words that we spoke to people, they would just show up on that person and they were just always there? We would be careful with the words we spoke because we wouldn't take them lightly. We would understand the impact that they had, that they don't just go away. And the Bible helps us understand that our words have that kind of power. And most of us could probably give some examples of words that were spoken to us that have been tattooed on us in some way or another. And they were spoken perhaps impulsively or carelessly or thoughtlessly. The Bible says, Proverbs 12:18, the words of the reckless, the words of the thoughtless, the words of the careless pierce like swords. They do more damage than we realize, but the tongue of the wise does what? It brings healing. And so, with our mouth, we can destroy, or with our mouth, we can heal, and we can bring life. That through Jesus, He can speak life where there is death. He can speak light into darkness. His word is more powerful than any other word. Any word that you've said to yourself, any word that's been spoken to you, His word overrides that. And so we listen to His word, and we speak His word, and then we believe His word, and then we watch and we see what God does.
The power.
Just about everybody that you encounter is often going through.
I got that. We got that. The power of words. So today, as you get upset or whatever it is that we do, not you, but we do, remember that. Think, my mother used to tell me this all the time, and the first sergeant too. Think before you speak, but I always had it backwards. Okay, kind of like Trump. I always spoke, and then I had to think about what I said. Okay, it is easier to not say it than to unsay it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Okay, let me see here now. Yes.
Good morning, Kevin.
Morning, Don.
They had a shooting in a mall over in Baton Rouge yesterday.
Yeah, Louisiana. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They hadn't showed who's done it, but I bet you they're black. What do you guess?
Unfortunately,
two groups. Two groups.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And I don't think none of them were the KKK. I think they're probably Crips and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Kevin.
Yeah.
When we had permit for concealed carry.
Mm-hmm.
What age did you have to be?
I thought you had to be 21.
No, you had to be 19. You think these Negroes shooting up stuff are 19?
Well, I would assume I'm older than 19 now.
It's the same old crap with Camilla. It's yo man, yo governor. It so makes you want to puke. Keep hearing it every day.
I just don't think what the government did.
The permit thing would have not stopped Negroes from shooting.
Well, right. It won't stop people from shooting.
And okay, what's required to amend the Constitution?
We know what.
No, it's a simple question. A simple civic question.
I know what
you said. Let's amend the Constitution.
Well,
tell me what it takes to amend it.
Well, it takes a majority of states.
No, it don't. It starts till you got that all screwed up.
Wait a minute. It doesn't take a majority of states to amend the Constitution?
No. There's a process. First, you have to have a process of 2/3 vote in both houses.
And they from the majority of
states. And they turn it over to the states. You got to have 38 states out of 50 to agree to it. Yeah. When was the last time the Constitution was amended?
Wow. 64?
1992.
What we put in?
Do you know when that was submitted to the states for ratification?
When?
Just guess. If you get it within 100 years, I'll congratulate you.
Yeah, but let me ask you something. What did they amend the Constitution to say? Had to be
I'll tell you, but tell me when the Senate.
I don't know.
Tell me when they sent it to the states for ratification.
Well, I don't know. I don't have a clue.
A lot you don't know, but it was 1789, and it got amended in 1992. It had to do with the pay of Congress people, but it was submitted in 1789 and was amended in 9. So it's just stupid to keep talking about changing the Second Amendment. It's not going to happen. 2/3 of both houses are not going to vote to do it, and 38 states are not going to do it. So it's a waste of time to even talk about it.
Well,
wait. For concealed permit, that's not going to stop Negroes from killing each other. They were killing each other before they did away with the permit thing. Mm-hmm. And you got to be 19, and these are 17 and 18-year-olds shooting each other. Okay, so you have to not be a felon. That throws out a bunch of them, don't it?
Right, but let me go back to what you said. Stop talking about it. Did you ever believe in your lifetime that the United States Supreme Court would sanction two men and two women getting married? Of course not.
That's a whole different thing. It was no ratification. They said that the Constitution allowed that.
Well, and they so maybe
that didn't ratify the Constitution.
I got you. Well, I don't care.
That was less than 9 people that said it was legal to do it. It wasn't prohibited under the Constitution.
Well, what we need.
It's a whole different thing. I know you don't have civics in your. Well, when you took
first of all,
school,
the law is whatever the Supreme Court says it is, whether it's in the Constitution or not. How in hell do you?
You're talking about a whole different thing. No. You're talking apples and oranges.
But it's the same process.
If
they can find abortion in the Constitution and it's not there,
tell me what's the Second Amendment are they going to find?
They can find that everybody walking around don't need to have access to a gun.
They already found that everybody walking around don't have to have it. If you are a felon, you lose your right to have one.
And they could change it if they wanted to.
You're going to change it that everybody's a felon? Is that what you want to change it?
No. We could ratify the Second Amendment.
No, you can't ratify it.
Not ratified. We could change it if we wanted to. We could. We could change.
You can't fix stupid. I mean, the Constitution is not going to be ratified again.
Wait a minute.
None of our lifetime.
Who runs the government? So theoretically, who runs the government in America?
Probably people like Soros and things like that.
Well, we the people, we are governed by consent.
We the people don't agree with you.
Okay, well, then y'all wrong.
You think me and Gary agree with you to do away with the Second Amendment?
I said modify it, not do away with it.
Well, modify it. You think we agree with you to modify it?
You know, it all. If somebody was close to you, got killed by a stupid idiot with a gun.
How about my grandfather? He was murdered by a Negro.
Okay, well, I mean,
is that close enough?
Well, I'm just saying,
need to be closer than that.
And a lot of black.
My grandfather was murdered by a Negro. Is that close enough?
And a lot of black people.
Is it close enough? You said somebody close to you.
Wait a minute. A lot of
is your grandfather close to you enough for you to be murdered by a Negro?
Well, what about the blacks who are?
That's not close enough.
Wait a minute. What about the blacks?
How close it got to be?
Okay, you don't want to hear.
What about a stupid conversation?
Wait a minute. You always bring that up, but a lot of black folks were killed by whites back in the day for a hell of a lot less than whatever happened to your grandfather. And bless his soul, I don't know who he is. But I'm just saying we need to do something about these guns. This is crazy. You can't pick up the paper right now. And what I suggest is that I'm going to call him a congressman. What I suggest is that the only people in this country ought to be able to walk around with a gun they have to prove they're in the military or law enforcement. Everybody else, you don't need. I think guns should strictly be for in your house to protect your family. No problem with that. But to walk around with a gun, and I think what the governor did, that's the dumbest law I've ever seen. So now everybody can put a gun in their pocket with impunity. Okay? Everybody can do it now. You don't have to have a license. You don't have to have any special training. You just walk around with a gun. And then you mix guns with alcohol and stupidity. Okay? That is a combination means somebody going to die that night. Okay? So yeah, I and we probably can't because I know this is a gun culture. Again, I just think unless you can show that you have been trained in the use of firearms, okay, I don't think you ought to be able to walk around with a gun. Okay, that's one thing. We need to do that. Maybe the states can do that. We're not taking your right from it, but you are going to show us by some action of yours, by some program that you need to be trained. I need to know if you're an idiot walking around with a gun, at least you know how to use it. Okay, and we need everybody who has a gun outside, who carries a gun outside their home, to have a license. Yeah, have a license, and that license will say that you have been trained, and you have to be able to prove it. And if we find you walking around with a gun and you don't have the proof of training or a license, yeah, we need to give you at least 36 months in prison. Okay, because there's no other reason for you to carry that gun. Because guns are made for one thing. They are made for one thing, and that one thing is to kill somebody. Okay, that's what guns are for. Whether it's in self-defense, offensive or defensive manner, it doesn't make it, or whether it's not. Now again, this don't stop people. This don't. What you want, man? I just got done talking to you.
Well, I know, but I want to agree with you on one thing on the training.
Oh.
I agree with you on the training. I'm tired of Negroes being wounded.
See? Okay then. I needed some humor anyway. But anyway, I'm tired of Negroes being wounded too. I'm tired of people who are in their homes minding their own business. And it sounds like Iraq outside. Okay. And you have to hide under the bed in your own house. And all you're doing is just enjoying the so-called freedom that you have. Do we have freedom if somebody else can determine our mental status? And these little YNs right here is messing with my mental status. Okay. And the problem is, I don't know where the Y ends. Okay, that was an oxymoron there, but a conundrum. When I don't know where the mentality ends of the YNs. Somebody says a few minutes ago, you need to let the YN stay in jail until he ON. Listen, it was funny, but it's almost true. It's almost true. I mean, we just, what's going on in this country? Okay. I tried to fix it where he could comment. Trust me, I have. I even gave him an email. He said he don't know how to use it. So hey, he's got to. I don't know. He's got to figure it out. Anyway, if you think that you want to do something about the. What does that say? Do something about what will it say there? My eyes ain't what they used to be. Hold on, let me see it. Let me put it over here and see if I can read it. Do something about the music. It's absolutely, Willie, absolutely. Dr. Umar, who I don't agree on anything, said it is the soundtrack of genocide. That rap crap is a soundtrack of genocide. Okay, and he was absolutely right. Since that junk has come out since the 90s, my Lord, we can't even count the people that have been killed, the people who have died for writing a lyric on a record. Now, and evidently our education system does not teach logic and reason. We just don't do that anymore. We can't be teaching it. Again, though, we need to do something. Hey, maybe we can. Okay, so we can't take your right to bear arms. No, but we can take your right to bear arms without training. So as soon as I become mayor, I'm going to make an executive order. You don't get to walk around in Montgomery with a gun unless you got proof that you have been trained to use it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Wait a minute. I'm not running for mayor. Yeah, I'm too old for that. Yeah. Okay. Don, it ain't the Don.
I'm with Willie. I'm with Willie on the music. Let's amend the First Amendment.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. That's all I want to hear from you now until sometime in the next hour. So music executives would never allow the, what does that say? The degradation of any other ethnic group. But aren't we giving people that power? I can't blame them. If I could, it's like if I'm the one to be king of the world and everybody just lays down and let me do it, I'm gonna do it. They don't control your mind. Okay. Again, I'm with the other guy. Put him in jail, put the YN in jail too. He becomes an ON. Okay. This is getting ridiculous now. It's just, what happened in Louisiana? We got people every day, 5,000 young black males for the last 5 years have been killed every year at a minimum in the last 5 years. Okay. The citizens might need to hire their own security team. You may have a point there. Okay, you just may have a point there. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That was on my mind last night. After I got done talking to the mayor, the former mayor. As a matter of fact, we were talking about next week's subject. He's getting behind somebody. Here's a question. It is a question of culture. Who defines our culture? Okay, who defines the culture that we live in today? Okay, we were talking about the other day. I was talking to Rickard about being on the Board of Education, but nobody wants to do the hard. Nobody wants to implement hard policies. And the governor ought to be ashamed of herself. Okay, really, for this outrageous lessening of law on guns. Okay, yeah, as a matter of fact, I'd rather see you with a gun than don't know if you have one. At least if I see you one, I know I'm not going in that store with all them folks in there with all them guns. Somebody might be crazy, but to not know who's walking around with a gun. Again, if it were up to me, the law would be that police officers, and you have to be former military, or you have to have a license to show that you have been trained in the use of firearms, deadly weapons, things that kill people, things that harm people. So I don't know what's so hard about each state implementing that. I don't know. We're not taking your right to bear arms away, but we are saying we ain't talking to you no more, Don. I got to get somebody else. Somebody else got to call before you do again. So what we need again is somebody to have the moxie. And if it goes to the Supreme Court, let it go. There's nowhere in the First Amendment does it say that you don't have to be trained to use that firearm. Even if you go in the military, they train you to use the firearm. They train you. So they train you to do it. We don't just let people, even on military bases, up until recently, even on military bases, up until recently. We could not carry, the only people who could actually carry weapons in the open were MPs, soldiers who've gone to combat, has to come back and put that weapon in the armor. Okay. Done.
Your cousin that killed his 7 kids was ex-military.
And I didn't say.
Said he had a gun. He's ex-military.
Well, until he did
You
something
just
wrong.
standing up for your cousin now.
No, he ain't my cousin, but whoever he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm done. Don't call me back. I ain't gonna let you back in until next hour. So you forget it. We're gonna do. I'll talk myself. And again, the question is, we need to do something about the gun violence. And I will admit to you that most of the time it's the YNs. We call those the young Negroes. They got another word for them. But we need, when we find a YN, then we need to put him in jail till he's ON. I appreciate that. Because obviously logic and reason and talking to these people is not doing us any good. It's just not doing us any good. They're not listening. They're just not listening to, and when it's more dangerous to walk around America than it is Iraq or Iran, then we got a problem. We have a problem big time. And the Iranians don't have to take us over. The Russians don't have to take us over. There won't be nothing left to take. The Chinese don't have to take us over. There'll be nothing left to take. Okay? I mean, we are going to do to ourselves what no other nation has ever done, except the Chinese came close. I mean the Japanese came close. Yes, sir, Mr. Boyd.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning,
Kevin. You remember Greg Gunn, right?
Yes, of course. I don't know him, but I know the incident.
Did you see that news article out there?
Oh, they got a new one out there?
Do you think that I think they gave Aaron Coder Smith 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he did like 4 or 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know why he went to prison?
Why did he go to prison?
You know, he went to prison for killing the man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was found guilty, right?
Right.
And I was at that trial, and they said he would never hold another job in law enforcement even after he do his time. No, he would never, in so many words, be in a position where he would carry a firearm. But the new attorney general who's running for the hold that job stated in a news article, he was on one of them radio stations, that when he become the new attorney general, that he's going to put Eric Coder Smith on the task force, because good police officers like Aaron Coder Smith, who was set up, shouldn't have never went to prison. So he'll put him over the task force. How you feel about that?
You know, there's only 2 people who actually know what happened. I know he was found guilty, but there's only 2.
Kevin,
you asked me the question. You asked me the question.
Wait a minute.
No. Let me answer the question. Then I'll let you say. There's only 2 people who actually know what happened, and that's Aaron Coder Smith and Mr. Gunn. And again, I'm not a policeman. You've never been one. And I think a police has a right to want to go home too. There's so many questions.
Man, you sick, man. Come on, dude.
I'm just saying.
They got all the people in prison.
Yeah,
they were found guilty, Kevin.
Okay,
everybody in prison.
And everybody is not guilty. They just got found guilty.
Okay, so what percent you said was not guilty out of the 100%?
Probably, and you're right. It's probably a small part. Probably 5 to 10%.
So that Eric Coder Smith, I was at the trial,
mm-hmm.
and they tried to stage it, and it didn't work. Mm-hmm. And you saying still, well, don't nobody know what happened. But it's just the fact that he was found guilty. You think that you should put him in charge of a task force team? Would you run a a campaign ad saying you would put him in charge of a task force team for the state of Alabama? What type of message is that sending, man, to the Gun family, to good people like your police officer who always call with that racism? Will he support something like that? And it looked like you would support something like that.
Well,
too.
no, I don't know if I support it, but I do know there are a lot of people been found guilty that have not.
Kevin, I know it. So let everybody out of prison who killed somebody,
of course,
and let everybody out of prison who raped somebody, right? He was found guilty,
and that's
do
true.
the law mean anything?
The other day, a man spent 27 years in prison, innocent.
Kevin, I got black folk that denied me to get an appointment on the Montgomery Housing Authority board. I ain't hurt nobody. I was found. I ain't hurt no. I'm plain and simple. I ain't did nothing to nobody.
I supported you.
And 20 almost 21 years later, they still want to bring up one incident that happened in my 21 years later. Like they want to hold on.
Yeah.
And y'all here talking about you can't stop. Why are y'all still talking about trying? I guess the good. You can't stop.
If we don't,
nobody.
Well, that's what we can't. But
you can't stop that.
But we can make the repercussions so harsh until
they're not going to do that either.
So
the Republican or the white people in charge.
Do we just let white people are not in charge of a young YN out there shooting somebody?
They put the guns in the they make it accessible where the young YN
so our kids are just stupid and their parents.
I'm saying so. I was looking at the murder rate.
Yeah.
And if from the last 20-some years, we had almost 75 murders in 1 year.
That's right.
But the last time, I didn't know that. So there is definitely an incline.
Okay.
In murder rate, it going back and forth. I remember in the 50s, it was 50, 55 during my time.
Should we just say there's nothing we can do about it?
Stop making guns, something that you don't want to do in your white county. That's what I'm saying. So that's how you stop it. If you want to stop it.
Guns are good for the home, protecting your home.
That would stop it. Stop making guns. But I promise you, over 10, 15 years, it would stop it. I promise you.
We ain't gonna stop.
And if anybody call in and argue that, it won't stop it unless they come up with another mechanism of making some fabricated guns. Stop selling guns and stop selling the bullets. The murder rate would go down. It'll go down within the next 15, 20 years. But I just wanted to put that out there. That it's the article out there. It's on my page, but I know it's not. It don't mean nothing to your callers because they probably think that Greg Gunn got exactly what he deserved. But to award a guy to be over a task force, man.
Listen, I know some things about that even you may not know, and which is why I'm always hesitant to talk about it. Because I'm just telling you, there were things and that there are things that you.
Kev, you telling a lie. You need to get Donna Jenkins on your show.
Really?
Kev, they put a paint stick in this boy's hand.
Okay.
This boy stayed right around the corner from me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't. You going with somebody told you.
No.
You don't know nothing about that boy.
Wait a minute. So, I had somebody in his family call me. Okay. And explain to me that things are not always as they seem. Okay.
Kevin.
I'm just telling you. So you got
your
sources.
They planted.
Yeah.
Kevin, listen. At the end of the day, they planted a paint stick in his hand. It did not work. The jurors saw the evidence.
Okay.
Now I don't care what the family, what somebody told you. He was killed and he was found guilty.
Okay.
Now you want to put a tag. You want to put him in charge of a law enforcement task force.
Yeah.
That's a reward.
Well, the problem is when people make it personal, it changes your perspective. It's not personal.
Oh man, I ain't calling you no more. Man, I'm just saying that don't make. Now, I'm gonna leave you alone, brother. Because right now you got to think about what you just said, man. You just said that it's okay in so many words. Yeah, he killed the nigga. Just put him in, put him in charge of the tab so they can kill. Yeah, that's what you said. So we'll put him in charge of the zoo. We'll put him in charge of the zoo because he exactly what Alabama needs. We need somebody like Eric Coder Smith, and that was found guilty. Didn't do all this time. They suspend his sentence
it's an amazing
early, Barry. Oh, he got all types of favor, man. And you want to talk about Jamel? And you want to talk about Jamel Brown?
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
it's an amazing thing.
You got the audacity to talk about Jamel Brown.
I ain't saying nothing about Jamel Brown today.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't come. I'm just with the way you think. The way I really thought that you would really be reasonable, but man, I wouldn't even come on your show either, man. The way you talk. Now I understand what folks are saying about you.
Oh, man. So you gonna run for governor, but you scared of me?
No. It's out of respect. It ain't the fact that he's scared of you. He don't respect you. It's not the fact that he's scared of you. He don't. Yeah, because
to respect him. Am I going to be all sad because Jamel Brown, a guy who acts like a damn idiot in the street and running for governor?
Yeah, you keep that. You want to interview him? You want to interview? He don't respect you. He don't. It ain't the fact that he's scared. He don't.
And I think he's a buffoon. Man. I think he's a buffoon.
That's what that's why he don't, because he thinks the same way about you. That's the reason he won't come on your show, because you got idiots. You got idiot people that think just like you. And he don't want to entertain.
Hey, make your case. Don't be a buffoon in the streets. Make your case.
Okay. I made my case, but I think that's what's right. Sit around, you run the campaign ad that you're going to put Greg Coder Smith over task force.
That ain't my
ad.
That's
the people going to disagree with me. Well, that's what the candidate is running off of. That's the type of society that we are living in these days and time, man.
Well, they got a right to run.
And you're going to, but y'all want to solve the gun problem. And you really don't want to solve the gun problem because you don't want to give up your firearms.
Talking about that's killing us every day. It's us.
You have a good morning. You have a good morning. Stop selling the guns. Stop making the bullets.
Well,
I promise you.
That ain't gonna happen.
Well, you don't want to fix the problem. Have a good day.
Okay, we ain't gonna stop making guns, but we can stop some of the people who use the guns. Good morning.
Morning, Mayor.
Morning.
Chicago has everything you are asking for.
I know.
You have to be trained, and the killings go on night after night, weekend after weekend.
So do we give up?
No, we don't give up. Or you can move. But anyway, it sounds good in theory, and logically, I follow your point. But there are gun cultures, there's gun counties, there's gun countries, there's gun states that don't do this. And I mean, if you look at 2000, when we had 75, and the mayor's talked about this, 75 homicides was the high number in 2023. Ever since then, they've been going down. And as he says numerous times recently, violent crime is down. So is it having a reverse effect on it?
Well,
and if the tightening of the laws and the training and making sure that everybody knew how to use their firearm correctly, if that was the case, then Chicago would see a decrease. Chicago would have fewer.
What I'm looking for is accountability of who has guns. That's what I need to know. I need to know who's had, or at least you reach a certain status before you can own a gun. Now, in your home, I don't think you need a you shouldn't have to get a license to own a gun as if it's in your home for your own protection. That's fine, but to walk around the streets with guns in your pocket, okay, and nobody knows you got it. Yeah, I got a problem with that.
Do you know most of the homicides that occur in the home, which usually are about 30 to 40% of all homicides? That's why law enforcement agencies can beat their chest and say we have about a 60% or better clearance rate on our homicides, because 30 to 40% of them are domestic violence, and they occur in the home, and you don't have to have a gun permit in the home.
Right. Well, something we can't stop. Right. But something we can't stop. But we know who does that. We know who did that.
Just like Mr. Elkins,
Yes.
like Mr. Elkins in Shreveport.
Yeah.
He was not out on the street. He was not doing a drive-by. He was not at the mall. He was at home.
Yeah, he was.
He should have been prosecuted. We have gun laws right now. He had a prior conviction of domestic violence. He wasn't supposed to have a firearm. He should have been prosecuted under the federal 922 G8, G9. It would have kept that from happening. He'd have been in federal prison. But this is what happens when you don't enforce the gun laws you have on the books.
Well, and again, you may be right, but I know one thing: something needs to be done. I don't know exactly what it is, but I do know you ought not be able to walk around with a concealed weapon without a license.
Well, we've always been able to do that. From
open carry.
Always been
open carry. Case. Open carry. You've been able to do it.
Open carry. The only thing the law did, Mayor, was say that if a law enforcement officer comes up to your car and you've got that weapon concealed, or you've got it concealed on your person, they can't arrest you for that.
And you don't think we embolden? What you don't think we embolden people who never otherwise would have never picked up a gun had they had to have a license? Now they don't have to have one. So right now we take a 5'6" guy and make him feel like he's 6'5" because he got a gun in his pocket.
Well, all I'm going by is what the mayor said. The mayor said violent crime is down, and all I know is since 2023, the high number of 75, they've been going down ever since. So somebody is not telling the straight and skinny.
Well, one thing about it, if you keep killing your citizens, the murder rate will go down. You have nobody else. You have nobody else to shoot.
Hey, I appreciate you getting the strange mayor on there, and it's going to be interesting for him to explain to us why he's supporting a Republican candidate for Attorney General.
Well, he'll be on Wednesday.
Have a good day.
All right. He'll be on Wednesday. See, the whole gun thing. Listen. I don't know what happened that night, and unfortunately, nobody else does either. They went to court. They had a trial, and the guy was found guilty. But I'm telling you, I think the political pressure that was at the same time that the whole thing, George Floyd thing, was going on. The political pressure to find him guilty, I think, was just insurmountable. And so that's just my saying. I don't think a police officer goes out there every night to purposely. Now, if we find somebody like that, then we need to deal who purposely hurt a citizen. But the police officer has a right to go home too. They got a right to see little Jenny and little Jamarcus or whatever. They got a right to do that too. I don't know what happened. So I'm like every other citizen. I have to accept what the may not change my mind, but I have to accept the jury. But juries have been known to get it wrong. Okay? There are a lot of people in prison right now because the jury got it wrong. And once you get behind those walls, nobody really cares anything about you. Okay? But every week, every month, you hear somebody getting out of jail who've been there for 20, 30 years, and now they just came up with some new evidence. It took them 30 years to find the new evidence. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, I try to keep my whole life. I've just tried to stay out of that. I was headed the wrong way at 17 before I came across the Army Recruiting Center. I was headed in the wrong direction real fast. And I thank God I joined the military, because I would have been in jail or dead. I wouldn't on the straight and narrow path at 17 years old. So, things happen. That's all I know. I realized that the people here in Montgomery, Alabama, who knew Mr. Gunn, or anybody that have relatives been shot or killed in this city, they know it's personal to them. They don't want to hear no reason. They don't want to hear no logic. They don't want to hear nothing. All they know is that their loved one is gone, and they want some payback. whatever that payback looks like. They want somebody prosecuted, somebody persecuted, somebody for killing their loved one. I understand that, because you hurt my child, my boy, one of my boys, you are going to be in some real deep jail. That's one of the things I don't mind going to jail for. I'm like every other dad, every other mother, every father. You hurt mine? We if I got to come in the pitch black dark of night, put on camouflage and camis, I'm coming for you. Okay, so I'm like everybody else. I'm just glad that we trained them in such a way that they're good kids and they were now here in these streets. So hey, what can I tell you? But I do know if it's personal, it's personal. And there's nothing anybody can say, no logic, no reason that will ever get you to understand anything except your loved one is gone. And all we can do is pray for you. So, let's see. Well, he says, citizens are distracted while folks are making a fortune on inside information, cryptocurrency contracts that normally would be frowned upon. I know it's above your pay grade. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Are we talking about national people? Are we talking about and one of the reasons, Willie, that they get to do it, one of the reasons why they get to do it, because we gonna vote whoever is popular at that moment in all these elections. We don't really want people of good conscience. We really don't. We want somebody that we like. Yes, sir. Ma'am. Excuse me. My bad.
Kevin.
Yes.
I heard little Birdie told me, said the police chief make $200,000 a year.
I did hear somebody say that the other day. I don't know if he makes that kind of money, but I think he makes a good.
He may go in the mail. Then why everybody sticking it to the mail to get this crime in control?
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand why the mayor ain't raising a whole lot of hell when everybody on his cabinet making more money he is. I don't understand that one. But hey, Reed Ingram and Barfoot, and Morris and Kenyatta and all these people, evidently they don't care if he makes any money or not.
Oh, also, how come your guy going to arrest the military guy that betted on the raid that they were going to do in Venezuela? Isn't they doing inside betting?
I didn't know that was against the UCMJ unless he went out publicly and told people what was going to happen. I don't know how they charged him. He made it.
I don't understand it. They doing inside trading.
Well, they are.
That's right. Everybody.
That's right.
Everybody crook. So why pick on the little military guy that's trying to get up, leg up?
I don't understand it. I don't understand.
Have you looked at the food that they have publicized on Facebook, what they serving guys on them ships?
They used to eat good when I was on one.
Not the way they got it publicized on Facebook, and not
okay.
Got a piece of it. A lot of people complain about how they feeding those soldiers.
Well, you know what? Wait a minute. When I was in, listen, I carry a little food in cans on my back. And so I don't really care what they're eating. I had to eat my junk. They had to eat their junk. That's just part of the life.
Yeah, but if everybody else is getting rich but the military.
And it's always been that way. And it's always been that way. It's always been.
Well, you shouldn't. All crooks are. Everybody ought to be a crook.
Yeah. They are getting paid.
That's the only thing profit in this country now.
Yeah.
Being a crook.
They are getting paid. I was making $79 a week when I joined. So, listen, they're getting paid a whole hell of a lot now, but everything is going up, of course, exponentially. I understand it. The military has never been paid well. Because
I'm gonna see what they're gonna do with this military guy that he made the bet.
Made $400,000, and
then if they prosecute him, they ought to prosecute everybody.
Well, now I'm with
Congress, everybody.
But here's the difference. United States Code of Military Justice is not the same code that everybody else has to follow as a civilian.
No.
So
everybody but yourself. Everybody
yeah,
got a rule
it is.
somebody else.
It is what it is. But I'm gonna watch this because I don't see where the guy did anything wrong unless he gave somebody information prior to the mission. I can't see what he did wrong.
Well, yeah, like I said.
Yeah, he bet some money. We gonna get him.
America gonna pay for all what she has done in this world.
Well, everybody's got to pay for something, don't we? Because we all
right. That's right.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it. I mean, I just I don't know. Yeah, I think it's an E8. I'm still trying to figure what did he do wrong? He bet some money that they was gonna have Venezuela Maduro by a certain time. Well, they did. Of course, he knew because he was on the team. But if he didn't tell nobody he was on the team, I don't get this one. And I'm still against what we did to Maduro. I don't think we got the moral authority to go to anybody else's country and grab their president, bring him back here, and judge him underneath our laws. He had no reverence for the Constitution of the United States. He's not a U.S. citizen. I think that's it. I mean, if somebody ought to smack Trump, I think they ought to smack him for that. Because what's going to start happening when they start coming over here, getting rid of our House Speaker, getting rid of our Senate Majority Leader, getting rid of our people. I mean, we are on some fertile ground here. We gonna go to somebody else's country and take if they got a problem, well, we should have went down to Mexico years ago. They're closer to us and took their president and brought him back here too. Okay, so I don't know. I do not agree with that. That's that's not the American way. Now I can understand if if Trump pardons him, I think he deserves a pardon if he gets. I mean, I don't think. Do you think you're a military man, John? Did he do anything wrong? Because he bet how long that it was going to take us to get what's his name? Who's it? My mind's going. Did he do anything wrong? Did they do anything against the UCMJ? Unless he actually told people about that mission and that he was on it. What did he do wrong? He made some money. Right on. I mean, yeah, he had insider information because he was on the team that went to get him on Maduro. He was on the team that went to get him. But I don't see anything. Hey, you go downtown. They got this news thing I think it's called Cashy or Cali, whatever, where you can bet on anything. And as long as you don't dispose, as long as you don't give any information, I don't see. Yeah, I don't see what he did. I don't see what he did wrong. That was against the United States Code of Military Justice. He made a bet. Okay, which has been going on ever since there have been people changing the narrative, laughing my ass off. So says William Boyd. I don't know what you want to. Where the whole thing, the whole thing with the not George Floyd, with the Greg Gunn thing. Again, I wasn't there. And I realized if you ask me, was he found guilty? Yes. He was found guilty. Right. That is an absolute fact. It's incontrovertible. It is factual. It is truth. He was found guilty. But outside of that, I know nothing about what happened that night. The only two people that absolutely know what happened, and one of those people have passed, and one's been in prison for a couple of years, and now he's out. About this task force he's going to be in charge of, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. But right? He didn't leak. Right, Gary. Yeah, that's true. He didn't leak classified information that we know of. Now, unless they're holding something back that we don't know about. He bet on his own ability to get the job done. Okay, that's what he did. He bet on his own ability and the people that he worked with to go over there, grab the guy, and bring him back here. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I personally wouldn't have followed that order. That's one I wouldn't have followed. I'm sorry. I still bleed green. That's one I wouldn't have followed. That is certainly to go kidnap a head of state and bring them to the United States and try them. That's one. Yeah, I probably would have went to jail on that one. That don't even feel right in my soul. You know, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. No. At least I don't think I would. But now, if I was a private E1 and they said go down here and get this, well, I probably would have did what I was told. But after you've been in the military a little while, you know what's right and what's wrong. And as far as I'm concerned, Trump has done everything pretty decently with the military, except that. Make it make sense to me. We go to another country, steal their head of state, bring them back to the United States, and put them on trial. Somebody make that, it's. Yeah, I know it's a he. Yeah, I know it's a he. So if somebody can logically explain why we do that, and if they did sell drugs over here, well, that's because our idiot Americans want drugs. I can't even blame people. Listen, if I could sell you half a hot dog for like $40 and you buy it, I'd sell it to you too. If I can sell you some marijuana, and you want to buy it, I'd sell it to you. If you're an idiot to buy it, I'd sell it to you too. Whatever. And I would put all kind of junk in it. Basil, paprika, all kind of things in it. I just don't. Americans have to stop blaming other people for our indulgences. Okay, we ought to stop doing that. And if Americans wouldn't buy it, nobody would be trying to sell it. Okay, they said one guy, Delta Force with Chuck Norris, the president of that nation said, "Well, if they call us a country of drug dealers, then America's a country of drug users." I agree with that statement. We are. We're trying to escape reality often. But yeah, and that's the only thing the guy's done that I'm absolutely 100% against. Stealing, kidnapping a head of state. I don't care how many of their people wanted him gone. That's their job. That's their job to get rid of the guy, because nobody came over here during the 60s and the 50s and 40s and helped black folks. Okay, whatever we did, we paid our people. My grandfather, my grandmother, my mom, they paid the price. Right here in America. Okay. Nobody went across overseas and got somebody else to come over and help us. I'm sorry. No, we had to help ourselves. And the people in Venezuela, whatever they call it, or Venezuela, however it's pronounced, they need to help themselves. Like Mexico. They treat them bad. But Mexico's got to help itself. I don't see why don't we go down there and steal that president and bring her up here? I think it's a woman now. Still bring her up and put her in jail. Say, all them drugs y'all keep sending over here, yeah, you're going to jail for that. We ain't about to do that. So, of all the things Trump has done, that's the one I do not like, and I don't like the way ICE goes around grabbing people because allegedly they are here illegal, and they may be. I still say there's a better way, but as to what that way is, I don't know, because I'm not in charge of it. But I guarantee you, if I was in charge of it, it would be a lot differently. It would be carried out differently than we're doing now. But that's just me. That's just one black man's opinion. Okay, that's just one black man's opinion. The numbers here, if you want to give us a call, 521-2963. If you want to, phone lines are open at the moment. The phone line, not line. I only got one line. I got to figure out how to put more than one in here, though. Nah, I don't want to do that. That's enough. Then I'd have Don calling me on every line. Anyway, moving right on to other. Okay, it's not a he. See, it's not a he. It's a she. I got you. Democrats always worried about what other people make. Yeah, what business is that of yours? Yeah, I agree with you. It ain't my money. I mean, if they reached in my pocket and grabbed my money, then we have a conversation. Okay. I don't know if that was insider. Well, it can't be illegal. Congress has been doing it forever. Really, Congress has been doing it. So if Congress can do it, it seemed like to me that the sergeant can do it, but I don't know. I mean, it's only illegal, I guess, if people don't like you. I mean, Congress did it. Pelosi's did it. The longtime Speaker of the House, and all these people. I mean, they've been doing it forever. I mean, so do we have a hierarchy of citizenship in America, or do we treat everybody the same? Okay, I said, well, I would if they consider that insider trading, then I don't know what to use. I don't know if anything in the UCMJ is got anything to do with insider trading, because most folks in the military don't be trading. Okay, we lucky to get the check that we get sometimes. So I don't know. I still say I don't know what he did. Change the narrative. Okay. See, William thinks I'm changing the narrative off the who was the guy who got sent to jail, prison for a couple of years? Aaron Cody Smith. Evidently, according to him, he said that the person who's running for the attorney general said that they're going to put together a task force, I guess, and Aaron Cody Smith will be on it. Again, as a politician, you can say many things. Now, whether or not you actually do that, and he said he was a bad cop. Well, you see, that's where you and I got different information. It is my understanding through confidential conversation with people that he wasn't this bad cop that everybody tried to make him out to be. Okay, they said he was a pretty good guy. He wasn't. He didn't dislike black people. So and every time something comes up between black and white folks, we want to swear them down as somebody that don't like each other. And my understanding from police officers and for a couple of civilians, he wasn't this picture that people tried to make him be. But again, I wasn't with the guy every day. I don't know what he did every day. But it's my understanding, if some of the things they said he used to do are true, then yeah, that night he may have made a mistake. I don't know. All I know is though you have to want to come home to yourself. So, but I don't. Again, I don't know. Again, I know I have it. You have what, Dr. Joe? Let's see. Somebody said unstable. We need a YN. Oh, and an ON law. Well, I don't know whoever came up with this thing about YNs, but okay, we'll just have to deal with that. But we need to do something. We need to. This country is oversaturated with guns. I understand the purpose of the Second Amendment, but it's like anything else. It's like wisdom and knowledge. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the correct application of knowledge. And we're not using great knowledge in America right now by allowing every swinging jack in America to walk around with a gun in their pocket with no accountability to anybody. And I just think that's wrong. I just think that, again, on military bases, people who get paid to carry a gun in battle can't carry their weapons. Now, I think Hegseth said last week that they could for now, which makes sense to me. They can't carry their weapons on base. Actually putting it in the footlocker or putting it somewhere. But out here, we can carry a weapon by any manner of weapon that we want. A M10, a AK-47, a MAC-10. I mean, whatever you want to run, whatever you want to carry, they can carry it. But in our military bases, people who are trained to use that weapon can't carry theirs. Now, it wouldn't bother me to go on a military base and see people carrying weapons. That's their job. But are you telling me that we trust the civilian population out here? I guess we do. And you see where it's getting us, right? You see where it's getting us. You see where this over anxious, this overbearing allegiance to the Second Amendment is getting us. But our military people can't carry their weapons. But we can't. You can't go to Maxwell. Only people you see carrying the gun in Maxwell is the MPs, the SPs, and the Navy, and the Marine Corps, Shore Patrol. I mean, those are only people walking around with guns in what we call CONUS, continental United States, on military bases. Other than that, nobody gets to do it. So what makes you think what makes us think that people with no knowledge, with no training, should walk around here with guns in their pocket and nobody knows it? But we can't let our military people do it? That if another Pearl Harbor happens, then a lot of them gonna get killed too, because they can't. What if we look in the sky one day and the Chinese are coming down? Okay, Chinese paratroopers coming down. Oh, can somebody find the armorer so we can get in there and get our guns? Well, by that time you're just dead. I'm just saying, we do things in this country sometimes that absolutely stupefy me. Okay, let's see. He was a bad cop, dude. Well, again, I that's not what I heard. So I guess you have to listen to the narrative that you want to listen to. You want to listen to the narrative. I just don't know. Again, there are two people who know what happened that night, but when you tell me he was found guilty, yeah, he was found guilty. That's a fact. That's incontrovertible. That is something that cannot be challenged. He was found guilty. But again, I tell you, there are a lot of people who get out of jail years later when they weren't guilty, but they were found guilty. That's all I can say. Is it next hour yet?
Yep, it's here.
Oh, okay.
See, you lost my train of thought. Maduro, you do know that he had a warrant for his arrest by a grand.
That's jury, our grand jury. Yeah, our grand jury. We don't have to throw it in another country.
We have the right to go after people who break our laws in other places.
Says who?
Let me ask you a question. You're all the time talking about people who get, found guilty, but they were not found guilty. They get, you said they were let off because they weren't. They get new trials. They were allowed new trials.
Okay.
Cody Smith was given a new trial,
and
they elected not to try him again. Does that make him convicted or unconvicted, since he was supposed to have another trial?
Well, that means on paperwork, I guess he was convicted, because they never had another trial, and that was the last thing. But I guess what they call that when they do away with
trial, and they elected not to prosecute.
Yeah, the second trial.
So does that mean he's not guilty?
Well, in my mind, that's the way I would read it.
I mean, you talk about them all day long, locked up for 30 years.
Yeah.
And they decide not to retry them when they granted another trial, and you say they get off. But for some reason, you don't think Cody Smith is the same way.
Well, again, I'm not for or against Cody Smith. I wasn't there. The only two people who knew.
Wasn't Boyd. Boyd was convicted, right? I'm glad that.
I don't know.
Boyd said he was convicted by a jury, and he acts like his jury convicted him wrongly.
I don't know if he ever went to court for that. And I do think they made up a whole lot of crap back in those days on Boyd.
By who?
By the police department.
Boyd was convicted.
Well, and again, just because you get convicted don't mean you did it.
I'm glad he said that he brought up a jury. So a jury convicted you means something.
I don't know if he went to court on that stuff or not.
Does it mean something when it comes to Boyd?
Again, I don't know if he actually went to court for that issue. I just know that he got charged with.
Well, how do you get convicted if you don't go to court?
Well, that's true. I don't know if he was. I don't know if he went to trial or not. I don't know. He can go back and tell us. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, maybe he'll call and tell us if he was convicted, since he puts a lot of stock in a jury convicted people. If you're convicted, you're guilty. That's what he said about Smith, right?
Well, yeah, what he said.
Okay.
All righty then. I'll have to let Boyd answer that for himself, because I don't know what happened. And I don't even know if he went to trial. Guns don't kill people. People do. And you're absolutely right. Duke, what's up?
Boy, you on commotion going at it this morning, I see.
Well, you ain't calling.
He's hanging in there, buddy. He hanging. I got things to do. One question though. What's going on with the Big John deal right there? The boy that shot Big John. Where's that guy now? Is that guy in prison, or are they still wrestling around with that a little bit?
I think he's in jail in Macon County.
I'm talking about prison.
Yo,
he said he hadn't made it to prison yet.
I don't think they had his trial yet. They going through.
How many years that been?
I know 5, 6. I mean, I don't think they had his trial yet.
Commotion ain't talking about that one there. Steve ain't talking about that one, is
he? Well, I mean, you can't do
Steve. That. Steve. I know that, but they always talking about how bad the citizens are and how they need to be thrown under the jail, but depending on what color he is, sometimes probably help that situation.
I don't know.
If a Negro shot Big John, he'd be locked up. Sent straight to prison, probably from the jail. 2 days later, probably. But I kind of wonder about that one, Kevin.
Yeah,
we talk about the gun thing, but we want to talk about the Big John thing.
Well, I think that about 2 weeks ago there was a article in the paper moving him somewhere or doing something. The young man.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Moving around and everything, but he's not a thug though.
Well, he acted like one that night. If
I know that, but the bros be called a thug according to a commotion. He's a thug and killed his granddad or somebody like that. But somebody else's granddaddy got killed. Hell, can you relate to that commotion? Somebody else's granddad, Big John, somebody's granddaddy.
Yeah.
You're not upset about that one, commotion. All right, Kevin, I'm gone.
All right, appreciate it. And another thing too, Mr. Boyd did get pardoned from. He worked his butt off to get that. Did get pardoned for whatever perceived violations that he did. I don't, but he did get pardoned. All is forgiven. So well. Let me see. It was wrong when It was wrong when Hunter Biden did it, but when Eric Donald Jr. and Jared does it, it's okay. And again, listen, guys, I'm not. We're not in charge of anything. We're barely in charge of ourselves. So listen, it's a system. Okay, and it's always been that way, always will be that way. So what we need not to do is just don't do it. Obviously, in America's not a perfect nation. It's a great nation, but it's by no means perfect. And if you know that Leroy has a greater chance of going to jail for doing the same thing that Alex did, then you might want to tell Leroy to slow his roll, okay? Because it's too late to complain about it once they caught you. And it's like my mom used to say, well, your brother may have done it, but I caught you, okay? So I'm just saying, all that complaining won't do anything about it. The best we can do is don't get involved in those things that other people do, okay? It is what it is. Yeah, I don't want to be brutally honest about it, but it is what it is. And if you know that you're not going to be given the same leeway, the same grace that another guy is, then don't do it. Okay? Let him do it. Because I will say one thing about life. There is a system to the universe. And it may rain today, sun tomorrow, rain today. It may do that. But life has a way of correcting the wrongs. And it may not come when you want it, but it's always on time. So all I can tell you is that if you're going to do a hideous thing based on they did it, well, chances are your ass going to jail. Okay. I just, if you know that already, don't do it. Okay. Well, he stole bologna out of the store. They didn't do nothing to him. Well, yeah, but you're going to jail. Okay. Is it right? Probably not. But did you steal it? Yeah. Okay. Then you're going to jail. Okay. And since we already know that, listen, we know rich people don't put up with the same things that poor people put up with. I mean, we know that. Rich people don't do that. They just don't. They got lawyers. They got money. Okay. And let me tell you something. If my son ever got in trouble and I had the money, I'd get him a best lawyer I could too. Okay. Make sure he didn't go to jail. At least do my best to get a good deal. I would do the same thing. Hunter Biden, listen, if I'm the president of the United States and my son got in trouble and I could pardon him, I'd pardon him too. And my son, I'd do the same thing. So I don't have anything against what they do. That we were in the wrong gene pool. We were in the wrong gene pool. So hey, we did not get a chance to have that luck. Okay. The Big John trial. We're going to find out what's going on with that. I think I'll make some inquiries. See, once you guys bring something up to me, then I will find out things about it. Let's see. Right is wrong when it comes to Kevin's guy. Well, I don't know who my guy is. I ain't gay or nothing like that. So I don't have a guy. But again, I had an argument with somebody last night in Washington, D.C. They didn't really like Trump, and I said I did. And you know what? Now, normally when I have these kind of conversations, and this was a female, normally I get called. Somebody please call me besides Don. Don, when you going to learn how to use that email so you can make comments?
I don't know, but I need Willie Durham to tell me what Donald Jr. did and Jared did, instead of just throwing up crap. Tell me what they did, Willie.
Okay, he told you. No more today, though. No more today. We'll catch you. We'll catch you Tuesday now, and learn how to use that email. Pay me some money, and I'll come in and show you how to do it. And I get I won't charge you what my normal service charge is, but I'll do it. Which reminds me that our show. Oh man, I forgot. How did I forget this? Our show is being brought to you by. Why? I get so intrigued in conversation. I forget my main business here is to get customers for my sponsors here. Okay. And one of my sponsors is, of course, One Stop Wireless, 3445 Atlanta Highway. Now, one of the nice things that they can do, okay, one of the nice things they actually can do, they can take an old phone that you have had in your drawer for a while, and it's just sitting there not being used at all. Okay, it's sitting there. They can take that phone, okay, and turn that phone back on for you. Okay, so if you got one of them Samsungs 23s, 24, and the company that you had it with, they just every time you turn around and get a new bill, your bill goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Like I got that going on right now with AT&T, and now so with my one phone, but my main phone is with One Stop Wireless, and so now as soon as I get done paying this phone off, it's going over there to One Stop Wireless. Also, I'm gonna have them put the internet on my phone at One Stop Wireless. So, they are good people, okay. And if you don't have a cell phone, they got some free phones over there. Now, it's not an Apple or anything like that, or good Samsung. But if you just need a telephone, they do have some phones. They do have some phones for you, okay? And all you got to do is go down there and talk to those guys. They're at the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard. Okay, that's where they are. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me get my spot out there. Wait, Simply Days, and I get right with you. So anyway, if you need a telephone, a cell phone, or you need good service, they got plans $30 a month, $35 a month. They may even have one $25 a month. I'm not sure they got that, but I know they got one for $30 a month. No hidden fees, no hidden this, no hidden that. You go over there, you tell them you heard about them on the show here, and tell them I said to give you something free. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe advice. I'm not sure. But tell them I said give you something free. Okay. Anyway, so that is One Stop Wireless, and you can pay bills over there also. You can pay your light bill. I know you can pay your water bill and other bills, but give them a call, 320-2988, 320-2988. They're right on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard, 320-2988. Tell them you heard about them here, and I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna call them and tell them to give you a special deal. Okay, if you tell them you heard it on my show, the podcast here, which is Decisions 2.0, where we integrate common sense, logic, and reason. You can't find that everywhere. Okay, you just can't. All right, Simply Days.
Mayor, did prohibition work?
Well, somebody didn't drink.
Well, a whole lot of people got killed.
Yes.
And they had street wars over alcohol, and people ended up making their own alcohol,
moonshine,
and selling it.
Yeah,
moonshine, and selling it in illegal shot houses and in dry counties all over this state and other states where they put prohibition on alcohol sales.
Mm-hmm.
They have shot houses and they sell it under the table.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, you can say you can take up the guns, you can take up the bullets, but people are going to find a way, just like they did with prohibition. People are going to find a way. They're going to create a market that the criminals operate in, and they will have them, and law-abiding citizens won't. And the majority of guns that are on the streets in the hands of criminals, those are dirty guns. They've been broken into people's cars, houses, and stole their guns, and they have them on the streets.
Well, that's absolutely true. But what I don't quite get sometimes is, do we do nothing because somebody's going to get it anyway? I mean, really, did you ever believe that men and women would be getting married with the sanctity of a church or a government? Did you ever think that was going to happen? You know why it happened? Because they kept on at us. They put the political pressure there, tried to make us sound like we're racist, we're homophobes, or whatever the case may be, and we got tired of it. So we said, okay, so be it. Did you ever think that was going to happen in your lifetime? I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I mean, and there's a lot of things that have, if you live long enough, I guess the people that, saw the radio come online, and then now we're seeing, artificial intelligence. I guess if you're long enough, you see it. But I mean, it's just, we've got to come up with some, and it's like the caller said about the rap music. I mean, they were killing people over Michael Jordan's shoes. They'll kill people over, if you put something out there and prohibit it, then there's going to be a market, underground criminal market for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's all I'm saying. And you can take the blueprint from Illinois that Chicago has to go by, and they have training, mandatory training, and all of that stuff, but it doesn't affect that violent crime, because criminals are not going to go down and get a permit. Criminals are not going to go and get training. They're just not. And
well,
I mean, if you think a criminal's going to shoot, criminals don't go down and get a gun permit.
No,
they don't.
No, yeah, and I got that. I got that part. But my problem is that to have no accountability to anybody is, and listen, you may go get the permit or whatever it is that you need, and you still may do crimes.
Exactly.
Exactly. But somebody's not going to do it because they got this license in their pocket and they don't want to go to jail. Okay, somebody won't do it.
Well, I guess it's an arguable point, but in closing, if the state of Alabama was going to create a striptease task force, who do you think they'd put in charge of it?
Jamil Brown.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Okay, Jamil, they put him in charge since he wants to take the governor's house and turn it into a twerk Friday. I cannot. I'm done. We're done. I can't. Matter of fact, I ain't. We're not really taking any more calls. At least not from the same person. But we love you, Don. But enough. We heard enough of you today. But catch me next week. But we live in a country right now that is betwixt. We either have the greatness to be a whole lot better than what we are, or this is the last gasp of air of common sense, common decency that we can handle. I just don't know. There's something wrong with there's something wrong with our culture, and I don't know who's responsible for it, but I don't know. I need to take a break right quick, because that's what I was trying to do when I Marche. Hey, I am gonna I am going to Simpler Days again. What's that? Okay, all this stuff I got on my thing. Y'all been writing a lot of things today, man. I haven't had the opportunity to actually get to any of it, but I think I will at some point. Okay. Well. Oh, one more sponsor. Montgomery Computer Services. Montgomery Computer Services. Okay. It's a great place if you have a computer, and if you have issue with that computer, you might want to give these guys a call. They are 4151 Atlanta Highway. Okay, right next to Healthwise Food. Great people. They are experts at networks, expert at troubleshooting networks, expert out of a lot of that stuff, and that they handle. I don't know anything about networking. Don't even want to learn about networks. But that's what they do, and they can build you. If you're tired of going to Best Buy and places like that and buying computers that are already made up, and once you get a computer like that, you don't get a chance to do anything with it. You just got to take what they hand you. If you want like me, I like gaming computers, and we put one for me that's probably ought to be up there in NASA somewhere in Huntsville, but it's one of those really, really, really nice ones and powerful. I could probably run NASA with this one computer, as a matter of fact. But if you want a good computer, the only way you get a really great computer with great parts is you have to have somebody build it for you. Okay, piece by piece by piece, and you give those guys 277-6902, 277-6902, Montgomery Computer Services. That's who you need to call for all your computer problems. And here's another thing: don't wait until your computer dies before you back up your data. Your network needs backing up. Okay, don't wait, because by the time when you hear those clicking sounds on your hard drive, that means your hard drive in your head's about gone, and it's too late then. It's too late then. It's too late then to worry about your data. It's too late. Too late then. You need to get that data done now. You need to get somebody over there to check out your stuff, make sure you're right. And if you're using 15-year-old software, it probably is not going to work on Windows 10. Okay, so you might want to upgrade to Windows 11. Has a lot better security with it than Windows 10 does. So I'm just saying you might want to go talk to those guys at Montgomery Computer Services, 277-6902, 5131 Atlanta Highway. You can't right next to HealthWise Food, Geico Insurance, and all the other places. Right there on top of the hill. If you're going down Atlanta Highway. If you're coming from downtown, it'd be on the left. Okay, if you're coming from Chantilly up Atlanta Highway, then it would be on the right. Okay, but on left if you live in town. Yeah. Montgomery Computer Services. Don't let your computer die. Okay? Don't let your computer die and then come to the computer people thinking they can perform miracles. There's only one person I ever know that could bring back the dead. And it is not us. Okay? It's not us. Don, what you want, man?
One last thing for Reverend Willie before he bears false witness. Hunter Biden had 3 felonies for possession of a firearm, for buying a firearm, and he pled guilty to millions of dollars of tax evasion. Okay, Willie, tell me what that got to do with Don Jr. And don't tell me to read or research anything, because I got a hell of a lot more knowledge than you do.
Okay, I'll let that go. All right then. Well, anyway, Montgomery Computer Services, that's who you want to call for your computer. I can't help you with too many things. I can, most of the time I do spots, but every spot I do is people I do business with. Okay? They're great people. Montgomery Computer Services, 277-6902, 277-6902. What's it? 4151 Atlanta Highway. Okay? I'm just saying, great people. Oh, excuse me, 5141 Atlanta Highway, right next to HealthWise Food. Right next to, I'm telling you, they're waiting for you. They know a little bit about AI, but they do network. They got management where they can actually get into your. They can actually set up a system where they can get in your computer and help you with problems just by giving them a call. Okay, so I mean, they really are top notch. They're some of the best people, and I've been working with Stuart for years now. One of the best computer guys I know, hell of a lot better than I am. That's why I got to hang out with him so I can learn more. Okay. Anyway, that's it for today. Unless you guys got something else that's important to say. Again, Montgomery Computer Services, 5141 Atlanta Highway. Give them a call, 277-6902. 277-6902. And don't forget, do not forget, no matter what you do, One Stop Wireless, bill pay and more, located at 3445 Atlanta Highway. Okay, you can't beat it. Give them a call. Give them a call, please. 334-320-2988. Okay? Yeah. You need a phone? Go down there and get. They even got free phones down there. I don't know how many they got left now, but they got. And if your phone's broke, I think she even fixes some sometimes down there. So give them a call, see what they can do for you. Okay, see what they can do for you. Okay, I got 30 seconds.
Big John's trial ended in a hung jury, and it's set for retrial.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. How did you hang a jury like that over that? We'll
have a good day.
We'll see. So, okay, I thought it had something. Okay, well, so Big John's trial ended in a hung jury. How do you get a hung jury out of that when it was obvious that the guy was shot dead? And that's a whole different conversation. Anyway, time's up. See you guys tomorrow. Oh, lessons of life. Lessons of life today. The lesson of life today is, here it is right here. The lesson of life. I got it somewhere on there. It says, I lost it somewhere. It's not on there. Okay, it's on my Facebook page. So you got to go to my Facebook page and see the lessons of life today. Anyway, I gotta go. It's been an interesting day today. So you guys be cool, stay in school, don't be no fool. Is that it for today? Where's my producer at? Oh yeah, I'm looking at him. It's me. All right then. See you later. I'll get it.
In the quiet of the morning light, hands raised high in pure delight.
It is not the falling that gives us the strength. It is the getting up each and every time we do. So the word of the day is keep getting up. See ya.
With such sweet ease.